Welcome back to another episode of Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Evie.
Hello.
And Nicole.
Hello, hello.
And you're watching, at least I hope you're watching, The Other Side.
So we have
Peter DeLuise.
Move, move, move.
In his cameo.
This is one of my favorite episodes of SG1, I think.
Really?
So I just want to start very quickly saying that when I was a kid, I think I was about 6 or 7 when I first saw this episode, and I didn't know what racism was. So I did not understand the concept that Teal'c was being treated differently for that. I thought it was because he was Jafar, and they just thought he looked strange because of the symbol on his forehead. And I didn't realize that there was a white supremacy thing.
Either easily, really directly, because when O'Neill's saying, I might as well mention this now, they're the same. Every one of them is the same. And I didn't really understand.
Didn't understand
Yes. I think I picked up on it pretty quickly, but I saw this only for the first time, I guess, a couple of years ago.
Right.
You have a different relationship
15?
with it.
16?
Yeah. So actually, here's the funny thing. I watched this episode when I was a kid, and I didn't like it very much because I didn't understand it.
Right.
And then I was about
implications of it.
Yeah, and then I was about 18, 19. I watched it again for like the first time in years, and it suddenly clicked for me, and I went, "Oh, this is an excellent episode."
It's a very heavy episode. It's about as heavy as the water.
The water. I knew you were going to say that.
Oh my god,
that was such a bad joke. I love it.
I thought you were doing like a Back to the Future reference because you just saw Back to the Future again.
I did. So you will notice as well in a few seconds that we see Walter's name tag, and it still reads Davis.
I already saw it.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it wasn't as clear. You see it more clearly here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
he doesn't technically get his name until Atlantis. It's not spoken. It's not spoken in dialogue until home.
Away. We talked over my whole favorite exchange, but the "Didn't I order you to get a life" conversation, and then like how long have you been here? How long have you been here? So funny.
I never left.
Yeah.
Yes. So this episode obviously stars the late great Rene Aubergenois. Yes,
I have his autograph.
Oh, lucky you.
I know.
So he's obviously best known for his Star Trek credits. He was in 173 episodes. He is the third Star Trek veteran to appear in Stargate thus far, after Armin Shimmerman and Dwight Schultz. And I also discovered when I was doing my research yesterday that he voiced the French chef Louis in my favorite childhood film, The Little Mermaid.
That's right.
What?
He also sang
wow.
Les Poissons. He sang Les Poissons.
Isn't that French for fish?
It is. Yeah, okay. It's the fish, yeah. So in addition, he also lent his voice to 15 video games, including Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, my guy.
He traveled.
And a fun fact, Renee's father was a Pulitzer Prize nominated writer, and he's actually related to Napoleon Bonaparte on his mother's side.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah. That is brilliant.
I have to comment, Lockwatcher said splat, hyphen, splat.
Oof. I just want to throw in Evie with the fun fact about Fallout New Vegas. Did you know that going back to Matthew Perry, he was the lead villain in Fallout New Vegas because Fallout was his favorite game. So
Fallout was Matthew Perry's favorite game.
Yeah, Fallout 3, I think it was.
Okay.
He was his favorite. He played it so much.
Okay, wow.
We are about to finally meet a civilization that is willing to give us everything we could possibly want.
But they're racist, so we don't want it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we thought about it, and then we said no.
Yes, and he was also Father Mulcahy in MASH, Rene Aubergenois, Lockwatcher said, so that's true too.
Nick Nars just said, this is the one where they call the people they're killing breeders. Yes, because they don't care about genetic purity.
Indiscriminately, yeah.
AKA
exactly.
Racist.
But we don't find that out till a little bit later.
This is the thing
actually, it's kind of I don't know what you'd say. It's kind of an interesting point of reference that Aubergenois actually means armorer.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you notice the Stargate was black in the middle? I guess because the iris is up
No.
Yeah.
in the reflection. It was really dark.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Mm-hmm.
Security.
So I wanted to mention some, I guess it'd be deliberate similarities between this episode and, actual, yes, Earth history, we could call it. So the Urondans, with their racial ideologies and actions, obviously resemble the World War II Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Also, their reliance on heavy water and the fortified bunker sort of echo Nazi strategies. And while their technological superiority over the breeders is undermined by resource scarcity, which also mirrors the Nazis' wartime situation,
Yep.
and Allah's wish to join SG1 sort of more towards the end and work as a scientist sort of parallels the Allies' use of Nazi scientists in Operation Paperclip, which allowed numerous Nazi scientists to come to America rather than face prosecution as war criminals. And the Urondans' pursuit of racial purity through eugenics obviously mirrors the Nazi objectives. And finally, Allah's presumed death following SG1 through the gate parallels Hitler's mysterious disappearance. They never found his body either.
Oh, God.
And he apparently died in the bunker. And despite SG1's intervention likely leading to the breeders' victory, Allah's body probably would obviously never be recovered.
Yeah.
So very similar.
It's funny that these other people on the planet, I hate that we call them breeders because there's no other name given to them, but just what these guys called them. But it's really funny that they're never going to know that SG1 are technically the ones that saved them.
Yes.
It's
no, they wouldn't
they're
know.
never going to have any evidence of that.
No, they wouldn't know.
At least for a very long time until they uncover the Stargate.
Unless the Stargate is destroyed.
Yeah.
Would that make one hell of a boom?
Yeah. That is cool, Daniel. This episode does a really good job, in my opinion, of kind of hinting at the racism towards Teal'c, but like kind of making you be like, oh, it's because he's Jafar. Like
right.
They sit there kind of letting you kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how Chris Judge felt about this episode.
I think he enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's important to continue the conversation of racism in science fiction as much as possible. There are different levels of racism that Stargate has, but like talking about this kind, given that it's so important to our history on Earth, is very relevant.
Yeah, at this point, Teal'c has been discriminated against because he
Jafar
represents our enemy, not because he represents a species who is he represents a species who is our enemy. So, but it doesn't have anything to do with his skin color. So.
No. Correct. Yeah.
It was really surprising to me when it happened, when they were being racist towards him, because I didn't understand, because my brain literally just went straight to, oh, it's because he's Jafar. Wait.
And there could also be a species superiority thing going on as well. So
yeah, true.
You've got that look.
That look. No, the other one.
Oh.
So I'm curious, what do you guys think he meant by the other one?
I've always been wondering.
Yeah, so he's kind of like reduced Teal'c's expressions to two looks.
Yeah.
He's just messing
around. And I was
around.
just curious to think, I know, but I was just curious to think like what you guys thought that the other one was. Also, I believe that the bunker is a redress of the SGC set because they have the same corridors.
Yeah. Fair point.
Yeah, that is a good point. God, honestly, your question? No idea. Maybe it was just, I need the bathroom. I should have gone before we went. Look. A lot of toilet humor in this episode.
Oh, that's funny. So, according to Joseph Malozzi's blog, Peter DeLuise would yell, "Boom, shake, shake, shake," and the actors would feign being rocked while the crew threw like dust and sand on them. That's how they made it look like there was explosions.
I can
There's a lot
actually
of
like
debris.
imagine his
There
boom,
is.
you know, like in his accent, his voice.
This is Anne Marie DeLuise. Well,
Yeah.
Anne Marie
This
Loder at
is
the time. Eventually, Anne Marie
Anne
DeLuise.
Marie Loder. Yep.
Brilliant
So
woman.
she was, Peter DeLuise's girlfriend at the time, now his wife. And she does return in season 10's Bounty as Colonel Mitchell's love interest.
Amy Vandenberg.
Yep.
Exactly.
And met her
Also-
at GayCon, and she has not aged a day.
She has not.
No, she hasn't. She looks incredible. And also Mike Dupuge does appear in this as well.
Yes, he does.
In an uncredited role.
He does.
And this is his third Stargate appearance thus far.
Honestly, his career on Stargate is one of my favorite things. I love him in Universe so much. I wish we got more of him in there.
Yes, he is very good in that.
Beta Canton.
Beta
God,
Candy.
do not put that in
What Jack
some
calls it.
trivia stuff, David, because I will not remember it, even though I love the episode. Oh, it's begun. Oh, see, it's sad because Teal'c's like, oh, it's because I'm Jafar. I'll explain it like I always do. And it's like, oh, sweetie.
he's used to that, yeah.
Oh, because of that. Oh,
But the thing is though that he can't afford to be
rude.
that openly
Mhm.
racist because
Yeah.
he needs so much from SG1 at the moment.
That's right. And
It's
it doesn't
funny how people
occur
bend their morals.
to the average person. Oh yeah, look at
Yeah.
this. It is the SGC corridors.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Oh, you are
it is.
so right.
Good on you.
So I didn't really piece it together until I was doing my research, and then when I was rewatching bits of the episode last night, it really hit me, and it's all I could see. I kind of
Yeah.
ruined it for myself.
You're
Yeah,
absolutely
that's
right.
all I can see. You've ruined it for me too. Thanks.
Sorry.
Oh, look, the people who are asleep.
There's a lot of sleeping people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think when I did first see this, I did sort of recognize that they did all look incredibly similar.
Yeah.
When he's
They actually do look like clones.
when he's swiping through the images.
Are they supposed to be clones? Is that the
No, they're
implication?
not. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking when I was originally watching. Like, are they all
Yeah.
like... No, they're all just the same kind of race.
White people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that Jack just swipes a few times and goes, wait a second, why are they all white?
Yeah.
Where's the color?
It's practically the
Imagine
same
if he was
person.
actually one swipe away from a person of color and like he'd actually completely
One swipe away.
he'd completely like fumbled it and,
Oh,
and
that's
it
funny.
was truly not racism.
It's
the
like
whole
the
time.
Simpsons to serve man gag aboard the aliens ship. No,
Yeah.
no, there's more.
You know what? I hope the breeders lived up to their name and like bred to an insane amount, which is why these guys had to go underground. You know, I hope they had so many children, and all those children are now kicking these guys' butts.
Well, they had to go underground because they poisoned the surface.
Yeah, I know.
You know, we were talking
Honestly.
before about how we only know them as the breeders. Do you think they're also just Eurondans, but these guys have decided to
You're right. They're just Eurondans, aren't they?
just name them breeders to like disassociate from them?
That's,
It
that's what
depends on
racists do.
whether or not the Euranda was the country or was the planet. You know, it's like Kelowna, Langara. You know, you renamed your
true.
planet.
I headcanon, I'm going with what Evie's saying on this because it makes so much sense. Because, like, honestly, because that's what the human race has done in history against people of color as a way to separate them, like from white people to like be like, oh, you're a different race. You're this color. You're that color. Nah, you're Rondans.
I think I'm going to do a Stargate fanfic. I think the Eurondans, the breeders, are going to uncover the Stargate.
I'd love that.
They're going to
I'd love that.
contact
I'd read
Earth.
that.
They're going to ask for peace with SGC, and
Yes,
SGC
I
goes
love
to
that.
visit them, and they find out that the breeders are also cannibals.
Ooh.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, I love that.
What a twist!
I love that. That is unexpected.
I mean, if your surface is poisoned, sometimes you got to resort to cannibalism. I'm sure these guys did at some point. They're like, open up a few pods, num num num.
The point being, oh yeah, we feel bad for them, and then we meet them and like, oh, they're not perfect either.
Yeah. Yes. I love that.
Well, because the human race is all just messed up anyway, isn't it? So
it's true.
People can sit there and be like, I'm superior to this other country, but are we really?
Another great visual effect from the show.
This is honestly one of the coolest. This episode, I could talk about this episode all bloody day. It is a good time.
So I guess these fighters were already in atmosphere.
They're probably just droning around.
I'd say so, yeah.
Probably solar.
Yeah, how did they manage these graphics? They're really good.
They're really good.
Season 4 is just something else.
I imagine that those are real clouds.
That's an interesting twist, David.
Right? I suspect they're real clouds, and they superimposed the...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because it's almost too perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that other guy, isn't it? He's got like brain damage or something.
Yeah, exactly.
If
they're in there for a few thousand hours, they go bye-bye.
Yeah, I love how Jack feels his own jaw after this, because this guy has like his bottom jaw open, and Jack's like feeling his jaw after.
Yeah, he's like, oh my god,
they
am I okay?
The reason why the guy is the way he is because he's spent too many hours in this this chair. It's like, okay, you've withheld that little bit of information. What else have you been hiding?
It's kind of like don't work with radiation too much,
right, Exactly.
Yeah. Although, I mean, Jack could have really asked, couldn't he?
I think he's got too excited about fun weapons.
Yeah.
Like as soon as like a weapon or something to defend Earth comes up, it's just like, oh, everything else out the window. I want to focus on getting that stuff. Problems later.
Yeah. Jack's like just
he's like, am I okay?
That's really funny. MREs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have some MREs.
Imagine them being tastier than the yeast or whatever they've been eating.
Hydroponic
These
yeast.
glasses are so weird because it's like, how do you drink out of that? I'd pour it the other way.
Like,
correct. Yeah.
Well, according to Joseph Malozzi's blog, Rick made a gag out of the crazy glass by giving it a curious look. Yeah. And turning around and drinking from the backside. But I think he drinks from the correct side in this particular cut.
He kind of drinks sideways.
Yeah.
I so we see these glasses again at some point, I'm sure. They always rotate these things.
I think they're very cool.
I like them. They just seem really frustrating.
These chairs appear frequently in the show.
Yeah.
In the franchise. They appear in Atlantis. No, the Tok'ra had crystal chairs. These are seen in, I think, the Storm in Atlantis.
Oh,
yeah, when they're sitting and talking and trying to get that guy to give them the code to open
there you go. Look at you.
Yeah. I really love that episode. Storm and the Eye are a good time.
It is a good episode.
We just missed it there as well. Daniel's face with the yeast.
Yep.
Yeah, the only time it rains enough for them to make an episode with enough budget to allow rain, because it's expensive to make
one
rain.
Of the comments I made to Martin Garrow, you it never rains in Atlantis. He said it rained in the Storm of the Eye. I said, Martin, that was 4 seasons ago.
4 seasons ago.
Yeah, it was season 5 when we were talking.
Kind of sounds like Australia.
I love that these guys are like, oh yeah, water. What? And it's just like, yeah, we got so much of it. Our planet's mostly water.
This conversation is everything that we've ever wanted to hear in the show, and it's one of those situations. It's like, okay, and I'm watching it as a first-time audience member. Okay, this is too good to be true. What's the catch?
Mm-hmm.
Your dad has just said, my opinion, MREs taste good, and the neat part about them is the heater packet is included. I want to try MREs. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a exothermal reaction. So I've been trying to get my hands on real MREs.
Yes.
Can we do that? Can we test them together? Could
I would love to. Yeah.
Oh, good idea.
Oh, like Emmy Made? Is Emmy Made on YouTube?
Yeah, I watch her. Yes, I love her.
Yes,
she eats
I love
such
her
interesting
too.
things. Yes.
Yeah. And she tries all the she's done quite a few different MREs.
Oh,
Yeah.
She did
okay.
a Russian one.
Really?
She tries
How
the
she
food
get
of, like,
hands on these things.
Yeah.
She
I
tried
think a lot
Haitian
of them-
cookies as well that are made
A
out
lot of
clay.
viewers send them to her, I think.
Yeah. She tries all these foods that different countries would have in certain poverty situations or wars, and it's very fascinating. Daniel fighting back. He's like, he's the goodest boy in all the universe. This is why he ascends so much, all right? Like, Omar's just sitting up there watching him right now, being like, I'm so proud of you, boo. I'm gonna ascend you so hard. Dear oh dear. All that dust getting into there. Yeast. Can't be good. I wouldn't eat that yeast after all the dust just fell in. That's minging.
Okay,
Oh, the
apparently
fight
my
here,
dad
the
says
fight.
that we've got MREs at the house, so I did not know.
Oh, okay. You'll
Yeah.
have to try some.
I will.
And
It's
I
so
want an
good.
update.
Such a good
I
fight.
will. Well, I'll share them with you whenever we get together again. They last for years.
Yeah. Mail them to me. I'll eat them.
No. We'll have do an episode with them. So
Cute.
I love
Teal
how
doesn't
Teal.
get it.
No, he doesn't. He's just so pure.
He is. I want to give him a hug.
We're offering them
We are,
water.
in fact, offering water. Yeah, it's not fair on Tilk. Don't speak metaphorically.
Jack knows that he's right and he doesn't want to hear it
You want to hear it? Yeah.
because his
This is
goals
so good.
currently align.
Whenever SG1 fights, it's like my favorite thing in the world. Because it's so complex. They're not just getting along.
Yeah.
Well, it's the lesson element to sci-fi.
Yeah.
Sci-fi has some kind of a lesson. If it's
The thing
perfect, it's not on the nose. It's buried in the subtext.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
It disappoints me
deals
that-
with
that-
both sides.
That Sam won't speak up. Like, Sam doesn't have a problem with it either. She's completely on Jack's side for this.
She
She's
kind of
not
has
on
to
Jack's
side
side
with.
completely.
Well, she
Well,
basically
but she
no.
can't
With
say
Hammond,
anything.
with Hammond in a minute, she really is.
That's a fair point.
Well,
Yeah,
she
she's arguing.
says to
well,
Daniel
she's
that she
also-
agrees with him.
She's arguing Jack's point because Jack's not there to argue it. I would
Well,
say.
look how the look she gives Daniel in a second really irks me. Look at her damn face. No, she's like, oh yeah, all that technology. So excited.
She also wants to save these people.
I know.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't have the information that we have. Remember that.
Look, see, Sam had that irritated look when Daniel
Yeah.
said, "Thanks for asking the question."
She did. Yeah.
See, she's saying, but, yeah, they just need water. They don't do nothing. See, she's getting irritated every time he opens his mouth. It's like,
I
I'm
think
so disappointed.
people are
in
just
her.
angered. They're just angered by Daniel for like at least 3/4 of this episode.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely fine with it. It's just shocking to me that Sam and Jack are so tightly knit in this. Ironically,
They
I
have
love
to
them.
be though. They have to be. Like, she reports to him. They're in the same chain of command.
Yeah.
Like, she kind of has to follow him.
This is. I think you guys have raised an interesting point. I think this is probably the most, I think, confrontational that Sam gets
All of
to
SG1.
Daniel and all of
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from Thor's hammer when they were having that big fight about Sam wanting to follow a potential route, and then Daniel being like, "Let's listen to the wind."
Yeah.
Mm.
See, in a second, Sam turns around and like kind of changes her tune.
We don't know who these people are fighting. And in most, of
Here
these
it is.
kinds of shows, we wouldn't ask.
Literally right here. Look, Sam says for their lives. She hasn't even thought about it. She's been ignoring him like Jack. This is where she switches she
I
completely
think
flips.
I'm sure she's thought about it. That just the stakes are so high.
Yeah, look at her face in a second. Because she says something here, which is like, he's got a point. There you go. See, she's disappointed in herself for not thinking about that sooner, because she, like Jack, was like, "Oh, weapons, tasty,"
It's not just a matter of that. There's a time
No.
element here. These people are
Yeah.
they're about to be days away
They
from
need
being
the
overrun.
weapons. They need all this stuff to protect themselves. They
Yeah.
need to help these people. They don't have time, and they
They don't
won't be
have
able to
time
get these things
deal
to
with the
think
moral
about it.
qualms.
Yeah, that's completely fair. But it's so disappointing to see Sam and Jack behaving like this. Teal'c's an innocent in this. Teal'c's just being the goodest guy around,
Yeah,
just
he's
doing
there to
his
help.
thing. Yeah,
So
he's being the night. He's the most innocent one in this episode.
and I love
then
how
you
they're just
know.
tricked. They're not really tricked, but they're like they're they
gonna
kill
some
people.
in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have the full story.
Yeah, they just assume
Appreciate
that
what
is
we
drones.
give you. But you're so snippy. I know you're stressed, my guy, but appreciate it. It would have been nice if they didn't kill them and were able to like help them and then create a truce between the two sides. But it was too late for that. Yeah. Yeah, see, this is when Sam kind of changed her tune when she was talking to Hammond. But I really, I'm saying that like I'm annoyed. It's so complex of Sam to not be listening to all the things and just be having more of a military-minded kind of brain in that moment, and not thinking about the bigger picture and the whole rule of no involvement in the wars and affairs of other people's planets.
Yep.
So it's like, it's very interesting to just see the fighting between Jack, Sam, and Daniel. And Teal'c's just there being fantastic moral support. He's done nothing wrong this episode. Neither's Daniel, really, but he could be less antagonistic.
So we're about to see the power generator.
Yeah.
And it actually very closely resembles Hathor's.
I was about to say the same thing.
Also used to
Yes.
generate a substantial force field and into the fire.
Yeah.
And this similarity is likely unintentional, stemming from like a reused CGI rather than suggesting that the Goa'uld are involved in the Rondon matters.
Yeah, it's an asset.
Generator,
reuse.
go spin.
Yeah.
That's just the world in it.
Satisfied.
Yeah,
now.
they really rush this by having a Jack send a plane straight into the ground. Like it really like quickens the annihilation of these guys. Like Jack did not buy them any time at all to try and have a peaceful solution to any of this. He just went, "Oh, I'm angry, they're racists, goodbye." And that was a mistake on Jack's part. It's just very interesting.
I can understand.
Yeah, I have I have.
That's a
points
great
on that
shot
to discuss
It's
later.
such a
It is a
good
good
shot.
shot. Yeah.
The earlier ones were unarmed, darling. You didn't ask.
No, I said that
assumed.
the reconnaissance
Yeah.
drone was unmanned. You didn't ask me about these ones. So they're not being dishonest. They're just not disclosing everything. If that makes sense.
they're
just
holding it back.
withholding information.
Just so good. I can't wait to show my kids this episode of Stargate if I have kids.
Lock Watcher, Brad Wright from Chevron's Locked. We were always going to a planet and meeting good guys. And what would happen if we went and they were bad guys? Screw the Prime Directive.
Yes.
That's actually, so I watched this episode and my friend was over once. She came over while I was in the middle of it, and she said to me that she was always sick and tired of Star Trek because she enjoyed that, like messing with the Prime Directive and not really following it. And she enjoyed the fact that in Stargate, especially in this one, it showed the conflict with that idea and how Stargate disrespected it, but there were like consequences and they had to deal with the personal repercussions later.
The fallout. Yep.
Yeah. And I was so glad that a random friend of mine who doesn't really watch Stargate was able to recognize that. I was like, yes, you get it. That's why Stargate's so good. Dan Benson mentioned something interesting. I actually have said this before. I'm very happy he's mentioned it. Dan Ben said Stargate SG1 Alliances is set just after this episode and deals with the consequences of Colonel O'Neill's actions. Yes,
Correct.
I read that when I was a kid.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite books.
Really?
I was going to bring that up later. Yeah, by Karen Miller.
He has a fight with Kinsey, and the government gets involved, being like, "Oh, you completely botched this. What you did was like terrible, blah blah." It's really good though.
Yeah. The government would have. I mean, the U.S. government would have read the reports and
been fed up.
Been like,
and
don't
Kinsey
do this
found
again.
them in to try and get rid of Jack. See, this makes you like empathize with him, because the thing is, right, this guy,
They're humans.
It's
Yes,
an
they
example
Yeah.
of how racism is taught, not born. And like he wouldn't have been born with all this hate in him. He just grew up in this life of war, being told to hate this other side, and he doesn't know any other life.
Yeah.
So I feel quite bad for him.
These bigotry is taught.
Yeah.
It's not inherently learned. You know,
No.
that there's study after study with kids about this. And I mean, I have no problem with having some sympathy for these people. They're human beings.
Yeah.
But having said that, they just went too far.
Yeah.
And we can't facilitate. You know, I'm sorry with any loss of life.
Yeah. It's an unnecessary loss of life on this planet is what's happening. It's so much.
And racism can be unlearned for those who are willing.
I do believe that. I think that a lot of things can be fixed.
It's not
People
easy,
can change.
and it takes generations, but it can be undone.
If Jack hadn't gone and helped kill them off quicker, then I feel like there could have been a potentially beneficial alliance in the future. And we could have maybe gotten weapons.
The Orville season 3 has a season long arc about this.
I still haven't seen season 3. I've seen 1 and 2. I need to get back on it.
Where
I've seen like 3/4 of it.
Robots, who were enslaved by corporeals, have the opportunity to change their outlook on organics. Through the kindness of organics. It's a great show. If you've not seen the Orville, you are missing out.
Yeah,
Edie would
I loved
not
the
stop
first
talking
2
about
seasons.
it with the first 2 seasons, which is why I got into it.
It was so good. Yeah, I do need
here
to
we go.
finish it. I just
He just doesn't want him there.
no.
Yeah, instead of what? Yeah, he's not hurting you. He's just existing.
It's what he is.
Yeah. Yeah, that racist bell is tolling louder now.
Yep.
Only
And,
slightly louder.
had
He doesn't know for sure.
Had he kept his mouth shut,
oh, they'd be fine, yeah.
But that's the thing. It's pervasive.
See, this is the thing about racism that bothers me, is that like Teal'c hasn't said a word. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's been kind and helpful, and they have a problem with him for zero reason. Like it's just his skin color, and that is bull. It's what angers me. It's like, you can be mad at someone if they've wronged you, but when they've literally just existed, then it's not your problem. Leave it alone, Oh, I'm so happy. Yes. He's so cute. Daniel's just like, what?
Doesn't understand.
I'm getting mixed messages.
Yeah, I love that. The Jack's like, go be you, go annoy. And he's like, huh? I'm talking really fast this whole episode, by the way, everybody. I'm sorry. I just need to get all my thoughts out.
Very excited.
Every scene.
There's a lot of stuff in this episode.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack.
That can be commented on, yeah.
Feel free to slow me down after if you want to actually listen to what I have to say and you don't understand me. YouTube allows that. 0.5 speed. Is poisoned?
No, it's in enemy hands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're landlocked.
Yeah, they are. Suckers.
God.
You'd think that before starting a war, they'd move to somewhere a bit more, I don't know, favorable, since they need water. But
It's not always easy to move, especially if you
know.
have an ideology that is opposed to 100% of your neighbors.
It's like, come on, guys, you built a hole underground, don't have enough water in order to... Oh, this is when Sam starts figuring it out with the pipes.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
good.
Yep, the vents.
Oh, here we... Yes, Jack.
I love this I love this discussion. I am unsure.
He is concealing it.
Oh, Teal'c, you're so cute.
Oh.
Dang
Yeah,
doors.
let's have another look at this manifest.
Yeah, let's just see and like, you know, it would have been really funny if they weren't actually racists and he did keep on swiping and like
just
he didn't
Alar
stop it,
himself happened to be a grade A jerk, but everyone else was okay. You know, and that's the thing too. I mean, that could have been the case, but it wasn't.
Nah, sadly, they're all just very, very white.
Look at
See, are there a few repeats in here? Is that what made me think they were clones?
Right.
I don't
exactly,
think there's.
Yeah, see, that's a repeat. That's a repeat from earlier.
Yeah, had they
That's
been
repeat.
different...
Oh, they're the same images as before, yeah.
Most of the same images as before, which
that's
is
why
what
people thought they were
tricked
clones.
me up, yeah.
And it's the way that he says everyone is the same. I think that's another reason why I was confused as a child, so...
Yeah, they probably could have represented that a little bit differently.
Yeah, but we'll let that slide because it's such an excellent episode.
Dan Ben, some people can hate you for any slight difference of you don't fit their version of normal.
Yeah. People don't like me because I'm a bit weird and unhinged, and people are like, I don't like that girl, she's weird, and it's like, oh, rude, you know? I don't fit their version of normal in my own way, and that's nasty, so...
Well, you can have the intensity like me. You can have the intensity of a sledgehammer. So, you know, I mean, that can be an affront to some people. But then you get to know you, and it's like, oh, okay, there's a real sensitive person here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love both of you as sledgehammers.
I love you guys too. Ooh, man, the way she says that's one of the greatest deliveries in this show.
You can just feel the racism.
Yes, you can feel the racism.
And colors.
Yeah.
See, there's the real racism. Yeah. When he says colors, he's like, oh, I've found it.
Yeah. And Jack didn't even have to tell him. Jack just said, go and ask questions. You'll get it.
I do feel bad that Teal'c has like come to a planet and found like racism. Do you think that SG1 tried to hide racism from him on Earth? Do you think he's encountered racism when he's gone outside? Because I really hope he hasn't. He doesn't deserve it.
I'm sure at some point he did, but would it occur to him that it was? I doubt it.
I hope it didn't, yeah. He doesn't deserve it.
I love this prop, by the way.
It's very cool. It gets smashed, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh, here it's all about to kick off.
Yep.
Tasty. I love that. And then Sam's got her own thing, the pipes. You can't see me, but I'm like, my arms are waving all over. I'm so excited.
It's interesting that they use that crystal technology to store information.
Very Gould in Origin. Or ancient, really. Bro, you gotta stop being so rude. We are around here. Honestly. Can't even. Oh, he's about to do it.
You notice these are just office chairs?
She's figured it out.
Yeah, it's not what the prop is, it's how it's used.
That's it. Lockwatcher, Renee Aubergenois. There are only a few actors that have appeared in only one episode, yet their performance was so strong that they were remembered as if they had been in multiple episodes.
They're amazing actors.
Agrees. He has a presence. So in a few seconds, we're going to see the demise of Farrell, Anne-Marie's character. So in the GateCon interview from 2022 that David did with the DeLuise brothers, Peter had said that he wanted to see like some finality to Anne-Marie's character. So he decided to get like a quick cutaway of her sort of looking up and shying away from a giant styrofoam boulder.
Yeah.
And Peter recalled that she was so on it that she fell exactly underneath the rock's trajectory.
Yeah.
And he thought that she'd actually been struck.
Yeah.
Well,
there's my go-poo
afterwards.
Yeah. It's a great death. I remembered that death when I first saw it. It was like, wow, that she really...
I don't know if you noticed, that guy had like kind of like bleach blonde kind of hair, like looks like they kind of like dyed it a smidge for the shot or something for the episode.
Might have done.
And it's just like, really not helping the racist thing right there with all the.
He's in formation with the enemy bombers.
Yeah, he's so cheeky.
They're doing what?
Yeah, kick Mike Dopu. Yes, Sam, kick butt. Yeah. Oh, I love this. So exciting. I'm so happy. I shouldn't be happy, but I'm so happy. I don't like racism. Who does? I mean racists, but who here does?
Yeah, and the breeders will just never know who turned the tide of the war.
Get squished. I want to say so many bad words, but I can't. But bad man, get squished. I love that. It's like Teal'c finally realized that they're like how horrible they are. So he's like, I'm gonna get my vengeance, gonna break your hand.
Oh, he's just
doing his thing.
Yeah, he's doing his thing quietly.
Let's get
well,
out.
He trusts Jack so much that he's just following his lead.
Here we go. She is dead.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
I love that he took the opportunity to like kill his partner on the show. He's like, let me just give her a little send off.
Yeah, it was pretty clear that we were not going to be able to go back to this planet, so we might as well just knock her one.
Yeah. This is such a good like one-off episode. It absolutely gets me.
It is good. But apparently, when production wrapped, Renee told Brad Wright that Allah had a twin brother.
Yeah.
Who'd be more than happy to make an appearance in a future episode. That would have been cool.
And it's really too bad.
A bit cliche, but it would have been cool.
Well, this is Stargate. He could have come back as another character, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, true.
Completely. Oh, this is so good.
Oh. So the Jack and Carter stare off.
I was gonna say it's so.
Oh
intense,
my god!
So
it's such a loaded look.
Yeah,
because she knows he's killing him.
About it yesterday, and I think it sort of comes down to Jack's disgust with himself and his actions. Like, according to Gateworld, Jack overlooked the moral issues tied to the war he knew nothing about to focus on acquiring the technology. But when he learnt that Eurondans may be waging an immoral racial war, he withdrew his support. So his guilt led to him helping their enemies and resulting in Allah's death. But instead of supporting what's right, he destroys what's wrong, which sort of like leads to the leader's demise. But yeah, it's just such a loaded look.
It's just the way that he intentionally said close the iris. They could have taken him prisoner and used him.
Yeah, they could have.
And but Jack intentionally killed that man. But he did it by getting Walter to press the button. It's like, oh god.
And Sam almost just gave him like a up and down, like.
And it's so funny because Sam was on his side earlier.
Yeah, and she's almost rethinking how she originally perceived him.
There is so much subtext in this episode.
There is this episode honestly is like you know what, guys? Season 2 and 3 were tough for me because I wasn't able to talk about things as much. The amount I talked during this episode was like
perfectly appropriate.
Do you need some water?
Yeah, I'm gonna drink out of my Kylo Ren glass.
Okay. Sorry, my cat here really wants some attention, so I'm just gonna.
You bring him in.
Log Watcher. The cloud scenes were from Firefox with Clint Eastwood.
No.
Okay. No, nor have I.
I don't have it in here, so I don't know where I put it. I might have got rid of it just because it was so torn up. But I do have a copy of the Alliances book that Dan Ben mentioned. I have 2 copies. One that's still usable.
You have to read it.
And one that I read so much that half the pages tore out.
All right.
So
that was the other side.